Welcome everyone to the Wood from the Trees podcast, and this is a mad one because I thought I'd never get everyone down here at the one time, and I'm sitting here about 5 minutes and Garrett's after telling me my earphones match my hair because I'm grey as a badger. What else did you say?
Lots of little things.
Yeah, he's a prick. And Greg's just disorientated by the delay on the screen. Yeah,
It's a bit weird, yeah.
it's a bit weird. And then the trip down, Barry was doing big business the whole way down. Blah, talking on the phone, organising these loads, the whole lot.
Yep.
Here's some bye-bye.
Has to be done.
So, this is my family. Not all of them. There's only 4 of them here. But we would have grew up, say, together, the closest. And then Mark down the bottom. But he's not here. There's only 4 microphones. And we can only piss with the Mickey we have.
True.
But I asked people to give us questions, and there's a tremendous amount of them. But we're not going to get to them all. But I'll scrape through a few of them. But most of the questions were just a bit of a backstory and how we got to where we are and why we're doing what we're doing. Now, maybe some might say it's lack of options. Some might say it's just we were bred for it. Greg, sure, who knows? Do you know, the most questions we got on the way was, why are Greg's arms so big? Greg, over to you.
Barry's are bigger.
Barry's are bigger. Show your arms back. Yeah, from all the hard work. But yeah, we grew up, there was 11 of us. As you can see, we all look genetically similar in some ways. Barry and Greg are a little bit bigger than me and Garrett. But we all came out of the same hall. And we have a little secret. We were kind of Illuminati members when we were younger. Little ones. Although me and Garrett got away with murder, didn't we?
I wouldn't think I did, but you definitely did.
I definitely did.
Yeah, you did nothing. So
But farm-wise at home, we didn't do an awful lot.
No.
You were mostly down in Sean's, down in our uncle's.
Octave, yeah.
But you would have done a bit of farming at home.
Small bit.
Much.
Milk the cows, feed the calves,
Silage.
silage.
Thank God. I thought you weren't going to feed him.
They didn't get fed some of the times.
I think the founder was more into contracting,
Yeah.
Yeah.
silage and
You
Tractors.
did silage contracting, didn't you? I was too young for that. I can barely remember that.
With no licenses, no nothing, just driving around tractors, trailers, loading shovels.
What kind of tractors are we talking about? Just so the hardcore Illuminati members see the type of shit we're talking about. This wasn't 200 horsepower big yokes now.
No, 6806s and 7206 Deitzes. And
Do you-
8011.
do you remember them?
Crystals.
I do.
There was a Polaris there one time as well.
That was in Alan's time.
Was it? That was it?
No,
No.
that was later on. There was an old one, was there not?
Was that not Steyr?
No, I don't think so. Did Big Journey up it? No.
Big John, I think, always owned that tractor.
Then there's the Muir Hill.
Yeah, the Muir Hill. That was on.
That was Big Sean's.
Yeah,
Late end.
2100.
Yeah. And
There was a Massey 1200 there for a while, articulated yoke.
Oh, I remember that.
106 dates.
I caught my finger in the door of that.
So did I.
They used to swing closed.
And a Massey
was comfortable.
44 rigid loading shovel.
Here's that. Because I don't remember them things.
Near break.
Yeah, they used to call it the Yellow Submarine.
No, I don't remember all them things. But then I was...
How do you not remember
because
that when I
was,
remember?
Because I was not into that kind of thing.
David was into Sonic and
I was playing computer
Tomb
games. I had a
Raider.
little girl's blouse and you were all into
used
your
to
things.
have bobbins in his hair and
Me and Garrett we grew up together, me and Garrett, closest. And there's only 2 years between me and you.
Not even.
Not even. And Garrett drifted very early towards farming and agriculture. You were down in Sean's all the time. You were baling and silage
Anything was
and
better than
school. And I didn't. So I didn't actually drive a tractor. Like I never drove anything. You were always driving before I was.
That is for sure.
Like when we were younger, because people often ask us how long are we at it and how did you get into timber? And like I don't know about you, but my earliest memory. And do you remember when Daddy would come home in the evening in the lorry and you'd stand up on that little stuffed fox, looking out over the window to see Daddy parked
I
up
do.
the lorry, and like we could have only been 3-4 years old.
He'd bring us home chomps.
Yeah.
We'd be excited about it.
And then when did you start? When did you leave school, Barry?
We done 3 months of first year in Rossgrey.
That was it.
Yeah, got kicked out twice, suspended for fighting. Fighting, it wasn't, it was harmless. Pushing. And oh God,
Bullying.
I thought the father had killed me, but he said, if you're not going to go to school, you're going to go to work. So
Where'd you go working?
down to Sean Mortimer, building sheds.
What age are you?
Sure, what?
13,
14,
14.
you know.
How long did you stay there?
I was there for nearly 6 months, 7 months. And then we went off cutting silage. Myself and Daddy and Greg, Packy Cuddy, driving around. Not one of us, Daddy was the only one with a licence.
What was the silage harvest? A forest fair or something, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I
it was
remember
in the
that
later
one.
Years, wasn't it? No,
Yeah.
it's-
No, it was a forest fair. The time that we were there was a forest fair. And not bad out York.
What?
We used to just cut a place a day and cover the pit and play soccer then, or gather up a few lads and play soccer. And
You wouldn't cut a place in a week. It was a heap of scrap. And it was, you were always under it.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I barely remember those things.
It nearly chopped me up the same harvester.
Oh, cleaning out the front of it.
Yeah, it was clogged, and we didn't shut off the engine. We just pulled the clutch. And I was up in it pulling the grass over, and Daddy was on the ground pulling. Next thing we got a lump to come, and boom, off she went. You never seen a lad to jump as quick.
It definitely was a different time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When you left the silage knocks, when did you go to timber?
when we finished up at the silage, whatever year it was, I had no licence, no nothing, and my father went down and bought a chainsaw for Padder Burke, second hand, 61 Husqvarna, and he was taking me to Littleton to work for Mick Sullivan, and I only worked the saw for 2 weeks, and Mick came down and said, "Sure, come on and drive a forward." Or Seamus was driving from at the time.
The Seamus is our older brother, and he was always at the timber. Like, cause we like before that, Seamus would have been working on the saw and Pat Collier, and like when we were younger, it always would have been a saw trousers drying at night time, and you'd petrol, and there was always timber. It was never not timber. And John Ryan was around at that time. Had he machines at that time?
No, John and Seamus. Seamus was with, remember, for PJ for years. Remember, driving the county, Seamus was.
Yeah.
And then him and John went to bought a tractor,
An Ursus.
and a drive trailer. And
I
they went at-
remember that, yo.
Yeah, they were getting out after saw gangs. But then that fell asunder, that machine. It wasn't able for it, like, you know. So Seamus went driving for Sullivan's, and John went off and bought his own lorry, that 290. Remember that rawhead up at the corner?
Yeah, I remember the blue one.
Yeah. So just timber.
So what did you go on to after you got off the saw?
6, 7, 8.
The hydraulic one?
No, that was John had a 578 at the time with this had mini levers and all. It was lovely, all
Or bear claws.
bear claws, yeah. But
And what did you do then?
Seamus took
Very
me to
little.
work, and I stayed down in the B&B down with him, and he took me to work, and one of the Sullivans would collect me and bring me home until I was old enough to get the licence for a car, my first car.
What was your first car, bah?
Peugeot 205,
Just we all had 205s, didn't we?
I didn't.
I did.
super little yoke.
You did.
Yeah.
But you were at the timber a long time before Greg. Greg, you finished school, like you done leaving cert.
I'm real clever, yeah.
Oh, Greg's super clever.
He's the cleverest of the whole office.
Oh, Greg is.
seriously.
Yeah, and has the most money. We were only talking about it on the way home.
Yeah.
Right down here, like.
Don't know what to
Shocking.
do with it, yeah.
But me and Greg would have finished school. Garrett, you left school super early.
Same as Ba.
First year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't time. I was way too busy. There was money to be made.
Garrett's story is
Tragic.
It's not tragic. It actually makes me look like a bigger loser than I already am.
Not possible.
I was still in school, and Garrett was outside making a living. Garrett used to come home on the weekend, give me money when we'd be going out. Here, just 20 or 30 euro.
And the same guy, when I go to bed at night and have to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, he would do everything in his power not to let me fall asleep. He'd scratch his pillow. It would always end up in a fight.
Oh,
He was the most annoying guy
They
in
used
the
to
world.
kill one.
oh, jeez, we used to do some fight. Do you remember when we were younger? The two lads that have us fighting each other. We'd be after watching Van Damme's Bloodsport, and we'd be boxing the head off each other. Greg would be training me, Barry would be training Garrett, and next thing they'd just go fight.
They'd be slapping us in the corner, trying to get us angry.
I'd tell
to fight each
David.
other.
I'd tell David if he didn't bake her, I'd bake
Bake him
him.
up.
So the two boys used to kick the shit out of one
You had
another.
incentive.
So
'cause
we
you,
wouldn't be.
you would be kicked. You were going to get bit anyway. So you might as well go all out. And then if you done something wrong, piss Greg off. I would not piss you off that much now, would I?
No.
It was fun to watch, though.
He'd say, "You look at that fucking spot on that wall, and I'm going to come back in 5 minutes." Now there was no spot. He'd say, "When I come back, and if you don't know where that spot is, I'll kick the shit out of you around this house."
Yeah, but he very seldom done that to me, and that was purely because you are hard to handle.
Oh, David was a prick.
So bad.
And an iron bastard.
Always.
Yeah.
He was never anything on a nine
No,
prick.
he
Except
always
now,
went,
I'm not
No,
now.
you're same now.
Sound
he always
now.
went the other way.
Yeah.
Always again. Yeah.
Getting up on the fence.
Oh, jeez, it's outrageous.
But-
You never change.
Oh, good laugh.
Greg, don't be nasty to me
Ah,
now.
no,
Come on,
yeah,
come on.
yeah.
I'll fuck you out. This is my fucking room. I'll fuck you out of this place. What do you think of the place?
If there was a way of a 9, David would find
Yeah,
it.
he was.
Hey, what do you think of the place?
That's lovely.
Do you like it?
Oh, it's cool, yeah.
Not bad. Does it feel like home? Sniff that in. Take that in, timber. You never know. We probably cut that.
Could have.
Could
It's
have.
a little bit rough, though. You'd
Fuck
be in
you.
nice
It's supposed to be
timber the whole
rough.
time.
It's supposed to be
yeah,
rough.
You'd be in rough timber the whole time.
How would you ever fucking lay down? Anyway, Garrett,
Yes.
right? Because these are the questions you're all asking me. You want to know the little backstory. So I don't want to drift to Garrett yet because I may stay going with you. Right? I may stay going with you. So you left the machines. You wanted to go on the lorry. You always wanted to be on the lorry like your daddy. You were the lorry man out of this place.
I'm the lorry man.
Although Greg liked the lorry. You liked the lorry a lot.
I love the lorry.
You
Yeah.
loved the lorry. He just hadn't he was too angry in the road. Greg fucking killed Nate.
I did not like the lorry.
I did not like the lorry
You
either.
couldn't have a life and be on a lorry.
That's the thing with the lorry. You were never home when you wanted to be home.
Hurling, sports.
Yeah.
That's because at what you're at, you can just drop tools and go home.
Yeah.
With the lorry, you go
Down with your ship.
You're not home until you're home. Like,
Yeah, I don't mind if I was captain of a boat, I go down with it, but a lorry.
But you done well in a lorry when you drove a lorry.
I can drive anything. But it's whether I want to drive or not.
Yeah,
All hours of the
I
night.
found the lorry hard as well. I found it tough. And it takes me longer to learn how to do stuff than it would ye.
Everybody hates you when you're on a lorry. You're driving down the road and you meet someone and you can see their lips going, this cunt.
Yeah. You're on small roads
Yeah, nobody
and
likes
there's we won't assume her gender or anything, but the woman would be there saying, "Hey, what you want this road for?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be on this road. This is our road." Yeah, but there's a wood over there and we have to clear the timber out. Like, we're paying tax too.
Now, to be fair, around home,
No
around
problem.
the Sleeve Blooms, people embrace trucks, forestry, timber.
To grow up with.
Never a problem.
What year did you start on the lorry back?
Oh, Lord.
Were you 18 or 19?
Yeah, I was only after getting the licence. I only just barely got the licence. I was only around 18. My father gave me an F7. Do you remember
I
the
remember
F7?
that, the tipper, yeah.
Yeah. Remember you?
I do remember me.
Garrett drove the digger and he was up in Gilfile's pit breaking stone.
Yeah, which I should have had a rock breaker.
Yeah, but no, he just bent the bucket into an eagle
I asked for a rock breaker.
on a little 12-ton digger that wouldn't be fit to pick up a rock breaker.
Good.
But anyway, I went down to clean out the bark out of the train station for Seamus, see the contract clearing the trains. And I went down with the F7 to draw away that, and of course he dangled the keys of a new FL 10 360 Volvo
The
Rigid.
blue one?
Yeah,
I remember that.
and he gave me that, and sure, that was me then.
Is that
Timber
95?
hooked. She was 96.
96.
96.
She was a rig at that
No,
time.
she was a year, just barely a year old.
Great year for the club.
Yeah,
Was it a great year for the club?
Good, yeah.
It's final.
super little lorry. I used to be able to back it up to the train station yard in the high box.
With Dolly.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
They're not a trainee traders. A lot of lads out there now with their trainee traders. What would you think?
I just paid the lorry.
Do you remember you telling me you need to get rid of that and get the real Dolly trader? And I don't know, no, I'm happy with the drawbar trader. Happy out. Don't mind that Dolly yoke at all. Horrible yoke. Because I was terrified of it. Went into, where is it? Where's the place up in Glenafilly?
Oh, up in Mahers. Was it Mahers?
I don't know who it was. Anyway, round turntable, jammed it. Jammed it.
I think
Couldn't
you have
go
a video
back.
of that.
Couldn't
Drawbar
go forward.
trader.
Yeah. And then I went, now I get it. Now I know. They're fucking horrible.
I didn't like
You get caught rotten with them.
They're handy though, lads.
Done a job.
For the lesser guys.
Not everyone's perfect.
Exactly.
Not everyone's perfect. And then it's been lorries with you since.
Yeah, well, I've done, 4 years there in the middle. I'm on the forwarder there again there back in, What year was the 840? 2014.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Well,
Went back.
as a loser employee like me, that was the last. You drove for Seamus, and then you became a big boss.
Yeah, big boss.
And then I'm a loser still. These two
No,
boys.
David.
These two boys. Garrett, you.
Yeah,
Right. What age did you leave school?
13.
What was your job?
Very similar to Barry, really.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose I came when John Ryan had machines.
John Rain's our brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Barry's partner in crime.
Yeah. And he kind of said to his mother and father that he can leave school and come with me if he doesn't want to be there. So that got me out of school, really. They're used to him. And off I went working a chainsaw.
What kind of
Thrashing.
chainsaw was it?
254.
No, there's a big one.
Was it?
260, was it?
No, it was a 61.
Was it? No, it wasn't.
What'd you cut yourself with?
You wouldn't be able for 61.
I was a hardy little lad.
It wasn't a 266.
Doesn't matter anyway. I cut myself with it. And then I went to machines after that. After a bit of a stint getting
You
better.
gave yourself a nice cut with it.
Oh yeah, my fingers, yeah. Oh look, it's a learning process.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit young. Well, if I think about it now, if I seen
A 13-year-old.
13-year-old. Well, I cut myself now the day after my 15th birthday, which was a week before Christmas. I remember it well. And I walked up the woods to John Ryan and we went on to the hospital. But I spent a couple of weeks in Vincent's after.
They made it worse.
Huh?
You went in with one cut finger.
I did. And I came out with 3 injuries.
Three
Because
injuries.
skin grafts and different things. And then I was sitting at home kind of licking my wounds for a little while. And then I got a phone call to go drive a 678 for Sullivan. And I was on an A10, a new A10 shortly after that, but I failed at that. Ended up on a bad OSA 250. And yeah, that was me. I obviously got off the OSA 250 after a while and climbed the ladder again.
It's mad. Like I'm at the timber a long time. Like we're all at a while, but I missed the real bad machines. Like I used to go to during the summer holidays when the Gremo was there and the bag gear, but I never actually drove. Like I went straight onto A10s, and A10s were at the time they were Rolls Royces. They were a massive sea change to other machines.
You were on good gear.
Yeah, I was on good gear, and I didn't go to the forest straight away. You see.
Oh, you went to the train station first.
Yeah. Well, I during the summer I used to work with Greg.
You used
Greg
to spray
was
butts.
yeah.
and
Greg
different
was
things.
sawing timber, and I used to be stacking timber and spraying urea on butts. And me and Greg went back a long way.
We bonded back then too.
We bonded. Greg was a big chainsaw man when you left school, didn't you?
No, yeah, it was. I went sawing and stacking me and Parky when I left school.
Is that why your arms are so big? A lot of people are asking that question. Would you think that's something got to do with the?
It probably helped. I think the arms are big because you're telling everyone the arms are big, but they're not really that big. It's the most annoying thing. I can't go to a match, can't go anywhere. Lads coming up grabbing me by the arm. They're not that big. I know that. They're bollocks.
But it's what they can do.
No, I left school. I went sawing and stacking.
Do you stop at that now? You're wrecking the sound.
Myself and Pack. I got the tractor off of Daddy in the transfer box.
Pack's our first cousin, by the way.
Yeah, and we used to get into the tractor every morning, put the saws and yokes in the transfer box, and up the mountain.
Cadamstown, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I was fair bad. Like, I mean, I was able to brash, but I wasn't able to saw and stack. But I got the hang of that, and then I went working for John Ryan. He knocked on the door one night and he said, "Would I go brashing and in Wimblow?" And I went with John Ryan. I probably was with John for about 2 years sawing and stacking and cutting Wimblow, and then slowly but surely when he was getting tea and that, I'd get in on the harvester.
What harvester did you? Was it the Mapro?
It
or
was
the
a macro
Gremo?
loading shovel built into a harvester with a crane on it and a 335 Civitek head. And at the time, I suppose it was a great job, but really it was a panish, yeah.
Absolutely.
And I just went from there, really.
Was the Gremo after that?
I got the Gremo, the Osa.
Were you working with John time the Gremo was there? Because you used to be there a good bit.
Yeah, I done a bit, but I was mostly. I wasn't really now working with John, but I was there at the time of the Gremo for some peculiar reason. I was only
You
after getting it.
nearly broke my back one day. Remember, you had to fill it with these. Like no one realizes now, these things had to be filled with diesel. It was 45-gallon drums brought to the wood, and you had to empty them into 5-gallon drums. Then you had to walk up the wood with them if anything broke down or anything. And we walked up the wood one day, remember in Care, and we were all carrying 5-gallon drums. We were all walking up the hill, and Barry was up on top of the machine filling with the 5-gallon drums. So I'd hand the drums to Greg. Greg would fuck him up to Barry, and Barry'd fill them, and Barry'd peg him down to me. He fucking pegged the full drum down to me and pinned me to the ground, winded me. It was just shocking.
Oh, we were dangerous.
Dangerous.
We were so silly.
Do you remember the day you and Garrett came up to me and I jumped on the bonnet of the car pretending something out of a film and grabbed
was
the,
that?
grabbed the
Castle
Castle Comer.
Yeah.
And I grabbed the bonnet of the car, and Greg done this backwards 360, right? And
Pegged him off.
it looks in the films like you'd hang on, no bother. It flung me like a rag doll. I was like a tumbleweed at 50 miles an hour right across the turntable.
Yeah, his hair bobbin even fell off.
Did you write out an accident report?
No, I didn't. But it was funny. I used to have a lot of questionable hairdos, but do you remember the something happened in the wood? There was a machine broke.
It was the
250
forward.
and I was in the cab
Wouldn't
trying.
move.
Yeah, we were trying to find
Typical problem with him.
There was a fuse as a go, and you went down to get something out of the van or something, and I was checking the fuses to see which fuse was gone. And your daughter was after going with you the day, so there was the 101 Dalmatians bobbin thing. So I just put the oak, not to have the hair in me
Eyes.
in my eyes. Forgot all about it. Next thing the forester came in. He was chatting away to me with 101 Dalmatians bobbing in my hair. Oh, fuck. Remember the forester came in to you asking you about remember John Ryan?
No, we were down in Broadford, Mullaghraig, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it was a massive wood down there. And of course, like always, we were broke down, and John Ryan was down the wood, maybe 15 yards. And a lorry came in and pulled up on me, and he got out, and I was 16 at the time, or 17, and God, he said something to me. I really thought he was looking for directions or something, and I just said to him, you may go down and ask that fella there. So
He said to you again as well.
yeah, and I says, you may ask him. And he looked at me a little bit funny, fair enough. He walked on down to John Ryan, and he says, hey, I asked that chap how he was keeping. He told me to come down here and ask you. With a stupid accent, I know.
We went down to West Cork one time. I was driving the machine, and the forester came in. He started on about, who put that balk there? I was there. I have no idea what you're on about. I had no idea what you're talking about. You know what I'm talking about? Who put that balk there? I was like, don't know what a balk is. And he thought it was been. I just did not know the terminology for a big lumber commercial was a balk.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was Billy as well. When we done a lot of country, and we travelled around a lot, and different accents, different ways of talking, different ways of, you don't have to go far in Ireland to get different accents, like 30 mile down the road and someone speaks different.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's mad. They were just, the machines were so bad. Remember you were driving the 990? I went down with you for the day to drive it, and there was an air vent in the back of it.
You put your
And I
fingers up in
put
it.
my fingers into the air vent, and
But
like
like,
a fan in it.
who puts
cut the
their
whole top of my
fingers in
fingers
an air
off?
vent?
I didn't. I was warm.
David.
I was very, very warm. Very warm. Oh, stop. Best machine, Greg, that you got on after that? What was the nicest machine? From all the crap ones, what was the first real good machine you were on?
Next step up.
Sure, I was
1070.
Osa, and then I went on an 870A for McDunphy, and
What year was that?
that was
What year was that?
probably one of the best machines I drove.
Yeah.
97.
811, 810A. No, 870A.
It was an 870A, and I went
Timberjack.
up on a new Ergo then, wasn't it? No,
Cobra.
Cobra in 1998 from McDunphy.
Was that your first new one?
Yeah, first new machine. And I went
Telescopic.
the following year. Then I went down and drove a new 870B
From Mick Sullivan.
from McSullivan. Now that was the best machine I ever drove.
They were mint.
Yeah,
Could have done with another couple of wheels.
but I loved that job.
What was the first decent machine? After
Well-
the 810, you were on for a while and then got threw off it for being shy.
So I kind of started right up high, right at the top,
What were you told when you started, Garrett?
Well, to be fair now, Mick Sullivan did say you start at the top, there's only one way to go, and he was 100% right.
Down.
So, yeah, I don't know, but I think driving all them scrap machines you know, makes you appreciate a good joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you get it,
You really do appreciate
you
it.
do. You're not out rooting. It's a lot easier to get out timber.
Yeah.
Sure, we're spoilt now. My hands they're not as soft as yours, but you know,
No, I didn't. I missed a lot of that hardship now. I had a few hard days, but nothing like that. Do you remember? I didn't go to the machine straight away. I done my leaving, and then I was a bit of a fucking loser playing PlayStation. It wasn't Sonic, it was Gran Turismo. It was a great game.
Okay.
But you had started working with Seamus unloading the trains in the train station in Ferrybank in Waterford, and Seamus was after ordering that. What's it? 901
No, 922 Libra, wasn't it?
922 Libra with the banana boom, but they only had the small one at that time. And you were looking for a driver, and you rang and said, we need a lad to drive the digger. And I was like, fuck, I can't drive a digger. That's not good to me. And I went up to the wood up above our house. My friend Mick Cuddy was working up there. He was driving a little harvester. And Mick was 2 years younger than me, no license either, and he driving. And I said to him, he never guessed, Barry and Seamus rang me, asked me to go drive a fucking digger, like, fuck's sake. And Mick said, as only a friend would, well, I'll tell you, you may do something because you're stone useless. And I said, right, okay. Sure, I may go so. But that was tough.
yeah, straight into a hard
That
job.
was tough. Remember going down there in the morning? We were doing 3 trains. No, we started at 2. It was 2 trains first, wasn't
Yeah.
it? It was 2 trains.
2
and
trains every day.
You go down in the morning, and we'd be down there at 5 o'clock. And the first thing you do is, hail, rain, sleet, or snow, you start opening the straps and rolling them and try and get that done, because after that during the day you didn't have a minute. And the lorries that keep coming and keep coming, and the train had to be out at 12, the first one. Like 12 o'clock the train had to go out. So if you hadn't the lorries there to take the timber to the mill, you had to start driving up once the lorry went, unloading it onto the ground, then the other train would pull in and you'd start doing the straps, then the lorry come in, you'd have to take the stuff off the first train. It was
What kind of weight was on a train load of timber?
So a
Or
16
meters,
load,
even.
16 lorry load
yeah.
train, around 450, 500 tonne, all according to the weight. But the first train had to be out by 12, the second train had to be out by 5:45.
then 3 trains.
And of a Saturday then, remember,
Yeah.
the mill only stood up until 1.
Yeah, the timber
You had
trains
to
were
still-
more punctual than the passenger trains.
Yeah.
But that was tough. That was like, you never got a minute.
You broke some amount of bars with that
Oh,
machine,
gee,
didn't you?
when the big machine came, I demolished the place. Do you remember there was jacks on the front of it? So the jacks were on the front of it. You put the jacks down and you locked the axle, and then you could load it. Picked up nearly a third of the bay,
Old wood, yeah.
and I was driving it away, and I grabbed up the load, and my poor old lad was sitting in the lorry having his cup of tea, and the whole thing just went to fall. I had no axle lock, and I had it at the wrong side. The whole thing, I just banged down. Broke airbags, fucking bars. I made scutter the place. And then one day, remember, I was only learning. Barry would be teaching me how to drive all the time. There was some lorry lads were nasty to me, like.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, you were the best big brother in the world. And you were gonna bail lad. He'd come down and he'd go, "Get with that fucking York, you useless eager, fucking eager." And then you came down and you stood up for me that. Didn't you? You're like,
Still
"Oh, he's
regret
never
to
gonna
this
learn.
day.
He's never gonna learn."
It's an awful pay I didn't let him bait you.
No. Now, don't be like that. But Barry said to me, load them trailers. You'd park in a trailer, and then when they go up, I'd have a trailer loaded. So when the lorry came back, he'd just drop another trailer, and then Barry'd hook up. But there was a spare lorry in the yard that day, and Barry says, hook up that trailer. This is what you do, blah, blah, blah. And Barry came down, I hooked it all up, and he goes, is that hooked up? Yeah. You sure? Yeah. Are you 100% sure? Fucking hooked up. I'm such a annoying bastard. Like, it's hooked up. Drove out the road, whole trailer fell off, pulled the airbags off. Went straight the steps.
I should have checked.
You should.
Your
But
job.
we were down a man,
Yeah.
so there was a spare lorry, so we're just trying to get it done. It was a fair pressure job.
So I remember getting drivers, and lads were there. Are you driving long? Driving 30 year. Driving 30 year. What were we driving? Car transporters all around Europe. Remember? They come in, couldn't back lorry.
Oh, useless.
Like, it was so bad. Couldn't back it. One lad jammed into the train, remember? And then there was another lad one day, we won't mention his name, but we're sitting and we're loading, and he get out of the lorry, and we were just looking. He was just standing looking. There was a train coming up the yard. Real slow, just tipping up the yard, blowing horns, the whole lot. He's just standing. We're all there. So I can't move. And next thing, train hit him. like a rag doll across the yard. Not a rig.
Was he asleep?
Oh, he was
Asleep,
No,
standing up.
he was terrified looking at David swinging around 100 mile an hour with grabs of timber.
it was the most insulted ever. I thought I was flying it, right? So we were driving this brand new Libre, and I thought I had about 6 months done, and I was getting shit done. I was flying it, and they came down to service the machine. Next thing, Seamus came over to me and he goes, "The boys are saying they're not going to stand over the warranty on that the way you're driving it."
They couldn't.
I was mortified. I was so fucking upset over it. I thought I was doing great work. Oh, me and Barry got on so well. We used to have to sleep in the lorry together. Little FL10, remember?
F10.
F10. And Barry always gave me the top bunk. It was fucking horrible.
See, you made your life hard by driving up and down the road so often. That kind of driving is terrible hard.
Real bad weather. If it was icy, we'd always stay down.
Remember Cool Wagon
Yeah,
coming down in the mornings?
yeah. Are they still going?
No.
Thank God.
I done a couple of weeks down the train station on a lorry crane loading trailers.
That was tough.
That was tough.
It was, but it was a great learning because I knew how to work a lorry crane after a few days.
Remember the first aluminium bars we got? We were making the transition from steel bars on the timber trailers to aluminium, and we were so buzzing, weren't we? We got them, we put it all together, me and you, and we loaded the first load. And who was driving it?
Mickey Dunn, was it?
Mickey Dunn, yeah. And up to the first roundabout on Ferrybank, middle of the city, pulling on the brakes, and every stick of timber fell off the trailer.
Why?
It was so slippy. The Ennis train used to have real slippy timber, and I was too gentle loading it.
The bars moved then as well.
And I had to go down with the machine, down to the middle of the city, the big machine. And the big machine was grey. It would bring a big grab. But if you want to pick up one stick, you have to do this. Bang!
You didn't have to do it that hard, like, you know.
And you love trucks.
But
We do.
Hey, we went down to the middle of the roundabout Ferrybank, and I had most of the timber moved. And next thing was the last couple of grabs, and the brand new road. Made shy of it, pulled up lumps of tar.
Anything about no.
No, there was nothing about it. Back then, sure. Different time.
Different times.
And then when that dried up, then I...
Remember the day you
broke
broke
out.
it?
You came with me.
Remember the day you made shy of the door in the lorry?
That was your fault as well. Me and Barry were having a row. Right?
Big row.
And I was leering Barry, as I do. And
Up in this labour,
real high.
20 foot up in the air.
So Barry got real thick. I'd be real brave and I'd be far
Would
away
ya?
from him. Yeah,
Would
I'd be real brave.
Would you know that guy? No.
I know exactly the way he is.
And Barry picked up a stick. He was going throwing it at me in the cab. So I just slewed around. Slew. Barry came after me. Didn't realise that I was getting to the other side. And next thing, there was a lorry there. And I hit the lorry with the grab and drove the door into the cab of the lorry. And then me and Barry looked at each other and go, "Oh, Jesus Christ. How are we going to explain this?"
Out with the grinder, cut the 2 pillars off the door that could open and close, and worked away for the day until we got a door.
Doors are overrated anyway.
They are overrated. But when I finished in the train station, then I rang Garrett. I was there. I need a job, and Garrett was there. Well, I'm leaving this job, and I'll put a word in with Peter Sheeran for you. And went down to Connemara. Where was it? Clifton. And that was my first job driving a forwarder. I remember sitting in after driving a digger.
You're missing out a little here now.
What was that?
I sat with him for 2 weeks learning how to drive it.
You did.
It was hard to teach him anything,
Oh
really,
my
isn't
God.
it?
Sure, he wouldn't
Hey,
know this.
when you go from digs, like
Yeah, but your dig had a grab.
yeah, I know, but there's a big difference
And you're still
between
handling timber.
Yeah.
there's a big difference between the operation functions of a dig. Than
Have to take
a
into
forwarder.
consideration, he derailed 3 trains with
I
that
did.
Libre digger.
I did pull them off the tracks. I threw a stick. Remember the stick fell? A stick fell, right? And it went through the window of the train and turned it off. Now, I didn't know. Turning off a train is the most horrific thing you can do to a train. Because there's this weird starting system to them and they're just...
Never stop him.
You never stop them. David stopped them.
Perkins engine, are they?
Don't know. Pulled it off its tracks. Oh, Jesus, it was some messing.
The carriages now, not the train.
Yeah, I know. I just turned off the train. But the carriage, some of them didn't have floors. CIE's fault. Just by not having their shit together and not having a floor on the train. They were supposed to have a floor on the train. If there was a floor on the train, I wouldn't pull it off.
Never.
They just weren't there yet. They're getting there, but they just weren't there
They
yet.
just weren't there, yeah. But yeah, Garrett sat with me for 2 weeks, and God, that was some eye opener.
Oh my God, we got some hardship up there.
It was
It was like he just brought bad luck with him.
it was a horrific sale. It was
It's true. Carrier bearings went, drive shafts went, the rain, the wind. You're talking winter, Connemara. You know
Clifton.
how bad.
And remember the tide used to come in.
Yeah, and that's how we got in and out of the wood when the tide was out, and we were working. We could see the trawlers coming in and out of Clifton.
Oh, it was shocking. And I was so unlucky. And I wasn't unlucky. It was just a bad driver. I was going down this hill. And the old 810s had this stupid system that the pin could actually just the ball to come out and just fall out. Just come
Steer.
up.
On the
Yeah,
steer.
yeah, it just fall out. And it fell out. And the eye of the ram went into the drive shaft. Broke it all up.
Now, it
and
was
shite.
only a bad system if an Ega didn't check it in that time.
That was me. That was me. But God, the cold doing that. And I
Oh.
remember saying, this is what it's like. This is what the hardship is.
David is still fair tough when it's cold, isn't he?
Yeah, he's real strong.
Always real strong.
Ah, fuck off.
I know, but it wasn't a great start. But once you got any bit of a hang of it at all and said, I can do this, then you done it. Just
It
when
takes
it was
so
in,
long.
when it was in his head, oh, this is too hard. Then
But-
he couldn't learn.
But
no.
isn't it when you get hardship? And I was used to. I thought I could drive.
Yeah.
Do you know? You think you can drive, and then you realize, oh no, this is complicated. And we all were in Clearfells with small A10s. There was jewels on it. There was a lot of work taken on and off the jewels.
Oh, there was.
Like people that give out now, oh, I can't do tracks. You ever see people that are on machines now? They're, oh, tracks. Dude, remember taking off jewels and putting on tracks, and you had chains.
Drivers are just drivers now. That's where it starts and ends.
And they're starting on these new machines and think they've a heap of hardship. Like,
So when I was driving the forwarder, if you had to take off tracks to move to the wood, well, you took them off and then you put them on when you got to the next
Yeah.
wood. Like,
yeah, with
Simple
your
as that.
with your chains.
But
Yeah.
now, to be fair, everything has got an awful lot more heavy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean,
And
bigger,
bigger.
heavier. It is a little bit harder now.
Even filling with diesel was hard. Gravity
Gravity
was
does.
a jump up. It was so dangerous. I wouldn't do it now. I
would.
wouldn't use the gravity flow now system.
it's very simple though.
Oh, it's very simple,
It
but
was then.
There was a little bit of spillage though, lads. A little bit of spillage, which wouldn't go down well now with fisheries.
Oh.
Or the pearl mussel.
no.
They don't like silt. They love the diesel.
God, that was tough though. And then when you left, I was working up in Mayo, and I was all on my own for the first time, learning how to drive these yokes. But isn't it amazing when you learn to drive how many people teach you?
Yeah.
Like you take something from everyone. Say we would have done a lot with like Mick Sullivan. Like how much did we all learn from Mick and
Takes a village.
yeah.
That's what they say.
Like when I was on the Harvester, how many times did I ring? When I started on the Harvester, remember with Sullivan's, how many times I rot your hole every day?
Every day.
Every day,
Phone
hours,
call.
hours.
In general, people are good. Yeah, they help. Even when we started up, awful lot of
yeah.
people helped us.
We got a lot of help.
Mick Sullivan was an animal of a man.
Yeah.
God, he'd never give up. He was some detail.
It was.
He put up with some shite from us.
He did.
Well, he told me I was his favourite. And I was the bestie. His words, not mine. But he drove me to work as well. So he did.
You didn't have a license.
No. Still don't.
What year did now? I know these things, but the people listening don't, and you're welcome for me telling you all these things. What year did you start up on your own?
It's private. I know.
No,
Oh, nine.
well, I suppose the best thing. What year did you and John?
2004.
2004, and we would have at one stage worked for you.
Yeah.
And driving lorries and stuff, and then didn't really love the lorries and moved on. You were more lorry focused
At that time,
at
yeah.
that time, and then you started up on your own. In, what was it, 13?
No, 09.
Oh, 09, was it?
Yeah. 09. You think I'm lying?
No, I just say time flies when you're having fun, no fun.
I know, yeah, 09.
So I was on the lorry in 09 then, because you were after starting up. I was still on the lorry with Barry.
That's about right, yeah.
Remember down in Kerry that night?
I do.
You felt all sorry for me. I used to be feeling sorry for myself on the lorry staying out. Barry used to send me down to take out timber for, like I said, the boys, the babies, David Braden and all the boys with the handy haulage and Dara.
But you
Dara,
were
listen
driving
right
the big
now.
horse though.
Oh, I was driving the big
But David
16.
used to be really sad, you know. I have to stay out. So we rang the B&B in Tralee to see could we get him a room,
Because they were in the same wood.
and she had no room. So what went on, Gareth? He said he'd stay in the lorry.
Yeah, well, he was crying, whinging about it. This isn't for little ears. Yeah, he was there. Something could happen to me here tonight in this wood on my own. And he says, if you come up here in the morning and I'm lying at the front of the lorry with a condom stuck in my arse and coming all over my face, he says, don't wake me, I'm after having a great night. He's a filthy man.
I had some.
that's
The lorry. I put on about 2 stone, right, from 8 and shy. And my arse had just had a 3 minute. It'd tell me 3 minutes before I needed a shy. It'd just go, hey, I need a shy. And you'd be driving along the road. You go, where am I going to shy? I don't want, one of the. I've never told anyone this though. This is a fierce, embarrassing thing. And
You still don't have to.
I'm gonna.
have to if you don't
You
want
have
to.
to be real. I was heading down the road, down towards Gart, and it was real foggy. It was a nasty morning, and I was, yes, I need a fucking shite. The worst way. I'm gonna shit myself. And I said, first place I can pull up now, I'm gonna have one. Cause what are you gonna do? Shite yourself. So when you have to go, you have to go. Seen a lay-by, pulled up, go out, met it. I was so happy. I was like, oh jeez, that was close, man. And I drove on, got my load, coming up with me load, and next thing I see this lay-by graveyard and cars everywhere except for this big one area where some dirty cunt had a shite.
Oh my God.
And I was there, oh no. If someone wasn't having a bad enough of a day.
But that wasn't the first time you'd done that. We were working in Castlecomer one day, and I had the car parked on the side of the road. And I parked up the machine, and I was heading home. And when I walked out, he was after shiting right at the road. He was after holding on to my door handle and shiting right on the side of the tar road where I was going to get into the car. Like,
right, there's a story
nobody
to that.
would
I
do it.
walked up to Greg, and Greg used to say to me, because there was a time I wasn't that prepared a guy. I'm prepared now.
It's only in the
but
last couple of years.
I
you're
said
prepared.
to Greg, I need some toilet paper. Why? Was there? Because I need a shy. And he goes, why don't you bring your own toilet paper? You're going to have to get more prepared. You're fucking coming to the wood every day. You could be wearing fucking sandals and slippers and fucking no lunch. Like, what the fuck, like? You're not having any. I was like, Greg, come on. And I was so ticked with him because he had me by the bollocks, right? He got my Jamie, listen, right? You'll understand. He got one square toilet paper, right?
It
And
was
in front of me.
It was a paper towel for cleaning the windows.
Right, yeah, he tore it
Pretty
off.
big.
And I thought he was going to give me one square. No, he tore off a corner of it, and he said, use your finger and wipe your finger with this.
But he was the most unprepared fella. Like, no lunchbox, no work boots, no wet jacket. He was unbelievable. Shoes. And he'd fold up his trousers.
Yeah.
And he'd be jumping around the wood like a fairy, trying to avoid muck.
We used to come down the 16th load in the evening, and I'd say to David, right, out here now, when you come down, have the straps done, and we'll into the van or into the car, the Peugeot 306, and up the road like a train home. Get it done, you know. I come down, the straps wouldn't be rolled up, and I'd look around here with David be hanging out over the silo in Waterford. The silo down, that's, what is it, 200-300 feet high, where the lorries load the concrete, and he hanging out over it, laughing at me. And, oh God, he used to drive me.
Remember the Nuffield? We had a Nuffield cleaning up the yard, driving the shy out.
There was a wheel missing on the front.
Yeah.
Block underneath, holding
Yeah.
that slow.
Remember the evening, I thought this was a great idea. It was freezing cold. It was just before Christmas. And it was real icy, and I stuck my head out the window shouting, going up by Ferrybank. And Barry said, oh, it sounded like a great idea at the time. Barry said, if you keep that out the whole way home, I'll give you €20. £20.
£20, yeah.
And I was like, "Ah, fuck, yeah, no bother." Ah, jeez. I got home, right, and I missed my first time ever. I worked a week of work, abscess in my ear. I was broke up and shy.
All the drool and the
I was
saliva stuck
sick
to
as a
his
dog,
face.
sick as a dog for a week and a half.
Not too many do it.
Oh, I was fair stupid.
Oh, we're hanging for 20 bob, I suppose.
Hey, 20 bob is 20 bob. No, it's all about the monies. It's all about the monies. So you started in 2009.
Yeah.
What time did you start? Okay.
I started always early, around 7. Yeah, and 1270,
Yeah.
1270B, 820 Valmont that we were renting from Flaherty.
Lord mercy on him.
Yeah, helped a lot as well. And we ended up with a C and an A10C and 1070D. Or no,
Silvertech.
B. Oh, the Silvertech. No, I don't even want to talk. We won't talk about
No,
Silvertech.
because nightmares.
Oh
Boys will have nightmares.
my God, such a pan. It burnt more hydraulic oil was using that than diesel.
Yeah.
And we could never figure out where it was going out. They were the biggest pan.
But the 1070 was 3 or 4 years older than it.
Had
Silvertech.
5 or 6,000 hours more.
And it went for as well.
Twice the machine.
Twice the machine.
You bought it off a good man, though.
Yeah.
We did Pat Dial and Wicklow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That
but-
was a tidy yoke.
It's a good machine.
Yeah, but if we had to buy the Silvertech off Pat Dial, it still would have been a ball of shite.
Yeah.
Do you know?
The
Like,
last
they were
time,
good job to get a tree through it, but they stop so often.
I drove that 1070, I drove over my car. Remember?
The 10C, you mean?
Oh, that's fair funny.
Yeah,
On
but
Derry Brain.
yeah. Fuck's sake.
How many cars have you drove over?
One.
How many? That's not bad.
That's why. How many did you think I
None.
did?
Oh, I thought 2 actually.
No.
Did I
One.
drive over someone else's? No.
No, I didn't. You were thinking about AJ.
Oh, that
AJ
was
drove over.
John drove over a car. Sawman's car.
That wasn't very nice. did he mean
Was
it?
the sawman in it?
No.
He was in the forward away.
Well, that is surprising because sawmen usually are in their car. They usually where they spend most of their time.
Jack Cuddy's gonna fucking rip your head off. the
Not
weekend.
Jack. Jack could be out of the car.
What was the? Yeah, so 2009. I was working with Pat Collier. I left the lorries to go work for Pat
Oh,
Collier.
you were with Shams tonight.
Just for a month or two. Remember, you got me the job with Pat. I went begging.
That was
Do you
before
remember
Pat Norris
I
rode
begged
around.
Pa?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then
you-
we got him a pair of work boots and we turned the slip-on shoes away and
And I promised I'd be a good boy.
he brought a lunch.
I think that's where you really upped your shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pat. I had to. Sure, I
Yeah.
got such a bad name. Everyone thought I was useless and everyone thought I was an eager. And they were, hey, they were
They were
all
really
right.
tight.
You are.
And Greg's tough love helped. Greg's tough love.
I was quite nasty to him now.
Remember
I
one
still
night?
am,
Remember one night in
To be
Eagles?
honest.
I got bottled. Remember I got the bottle in the head.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I go walking over to Greg, and burst it open, and Greg goes, "You forget the box." Yeah, I got bottled. Did you deserve it? Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
It's fair enough.
9 times out of 10 when David got a puck in the face,
I deserved it.
he deserved it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's the sort of
Talking
fella
when you
he
should have been
is.
listening.
Yeah, it's the sort of fella he is.
Greg.
No.
Greg. Greg
Ah,
really
yeah.
loves me.
I do
Greg
love
really-
him, yeah, he's a grand lad.
First decent machine you got. First one that you would
1070
say.
was very good.
1070 was a good machine,
Yeah.
but
The
we
911.
won a long term then in the Slee Blooms. And we went up to Komatsu, John McElroy, and we got a 911.3. We had, what was the head?
350.
350 head. And that went really well for us. Well,
Yeah.
the first,
They were
Trio.
happy. They were happy shit to measure.
they weren't good to measure.
Oh,
no.
not big timber, and they were. Oh God.
We didn't
putting
get
in
much big
quarters
timber there.
into it, and
Yeah.
Well,
But
it was
that,
good.
that went well. How long did we keep that?
I can't remember. Too long.
Oh, we kept it till 17. We bought a new 911. That was our first step up.
And
We
saw-
thought fair hard about that, didn't we?
Yeah, and we bought a forwarder off our Uncle PJ. They're
She's still
40.
going too, by the way, lads.
Is it?
So Seamus has it.
That one.
We got it and then Seamus got it.
Oh, the harvester. I'm talking about the forwarder off
Oh,
PJ.
the forward, yeah.
I don't know where that went, but that was a decent forwarder as well.
So that got us going.
At the same time, but when did you all go get greedy for timber and start harvesting?
17.
14.
No, it was
Black cab.
Huh?
14. Black cabs. Log Max head.
It was sooner than that. It was 12 because the new machines came in 14, the new forwarder.
Oh, is that it? Oh, and then you got the
1070.
Silvertech.
Oh yeah, Silvertech with the
350 head on it.
350 head on it. Komatsu built it for us there.
Yeah. So, half as many problems.
Half as many. Jesus.
We never really minded too many problems.
No.
No,
You guys do.
You'd be good to
You're
fix.
good. You're good to fix, and
I was just used to it.
Barry and John are the type of lads that if a gearbox or a clutch went in a lorry, just pull it in, pull it out, and I'd be crying into me fucking.
They definitely are talented boys. Why did have a mechanic around the place is strange.
We don't.
You know
You
now.
ring Komatsu, don't you?
Ah yeah, but Mark Lynch, what did he call him?
The Komatsu
Whisperer.
Whisperer.
Komatsu Whisperer, yeah.
Barry's a diehard Komatsu man, if anyone's wondering.
Which is a
Greg's
shame.
Greg drifts in and out. Greg's whatever.
I think they're all good. It's all about the deal with me.
Greg's a businessman. People wonder who the businessman is. Garrett's the
I know, I like a little bit. I like me a bit of comfort too.
What?
I like comfort as well.
Of course you do. That's why you're a BMW driver, Greg.
The John Deere is more comfortable.
I'm going to go through a few of these questions because people are going to freak out if I don't. You don't have to answer them. But,
Don't mind the people, David.
yeah. Come on now.
Pass.
Greg, stop it now.
Pass.
Stop it. Be nice now. Oh, I get this one loads of times. Best ways to get into the forestry machine industry with little or no experience.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Go drawing silage, do a bit of topping. Come back to us.
How hard do people with no clue of anything make your lives?
What? Say that again?
How hard would people with no clue of anything make your lives?
The Green Party. They're our souls.
The government
actually.
makes everyone's lives very hard now, aren't they?
Mm.
Yeah, we'll just
Eamon Ryan seems to be the biggest clown in politics right now.
he should get a red nose, stick it on his face, and a big pair of shoes, because that's why everyone sees him and look at him anyway.
Oh, circus could rob him.
They wouldn't take him. Talks too much shy.
If you put you have no idea how many of these I've got. I'm just gonna breeze through them. If you put your Mickey's end to end on a table, how long would it be? It'd be longer than that table. Where's the tractor? Sold.
Gone.
Gone. Who would win the fight between the four of you?
Greg.
Barry.
Say Barry.
Barry's
Said Greg.
more of a lover.
Greg.
So you're saying that instead of a fight, he'd make love to Greg?
No, I'm not. I'm saying that he wouldn't want to fight, but Greg would fight.
Oh, this is a good one. Who's the hardest working and who's the most skilled?
Me.
Barry's the most skilled.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Barry is one of them really annoying people that just can drive everything easily. It's so frustrating. It's fucking annoying.
And fix everything,
Yeah.
actually.
Seamus is like that.
Yeah.
Well, I fix him.
Well, I have to say, Greg is talented harvester, man.
He is.
Crazy talented.
Yeah, he doesn't like to say it about himself, but he's the best in the country, and anyone thinks any different will have his arms to deal with.
No. Just I spend a lot of time in it. When you spend a lot of time, it's something you get good at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember years ago, it was 12 hours was minimum when you worked for someone.
No,
Like,
he likes it. Greg likes cutting trees.
Just like I
Now,
drive.
Eamon Ryan's losing his shit the other side of this mic, right? Greg likes cutting trees.
he does. Who can do the most press-ups?
Greg.
Greg, that's it.
Who was the boldest when they were young? And
Garrett.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Garrett.
but bold,
Actually-
bold in a good way.
Bold in a good way. He burnt down our house. Is that bold in a good way?
Yeah, well, it needed to be redecorated.
when we were young lads, Garrett went missing.
I got
And-
Mammy and Daddy off the fence on that one.
Garrett went missing. I went upstairs into Sean's room. I was looking for Garrett. Garrett was in the bed, under the bed, lighting matches. And I said, I don't know if that's a good idea. And next thing, a few minutes later, Garrett goes running out, closing the door, and he goes, downstairs, quick, the bed's on fire.
Well, to be fair, I was lighting matches for the thrill of the actual lighting. I wasn't trying to light anything or burn anything, but the bottom of the bed was all fluttery and it went so quick.
So tell me, why were you under the bed practicing with matches?
Well, it wasn't something that people agreed with, so
Under the bed was the place to do it.
No one was going to see me.
So I ran downstairs. I was like, Ma, house on fire. Fuck up, go in the sitting room, right? No, she probably didn't say fuck up, Mammy. I know you didn't say that. That's just me saying that.
That's
Well,
because the boy who cried wolf.
I didn't.
You probably told her 3 times a day the house is on fire.
Anyway, after only when they smelt the fire, and he burnt the whole upstairs in our house.
It was only one room.
It meant shite place with smoke damage. It meant shite place.
I felt bad as well.
You should. You're a cunt of a man. How many trucks has Barry?
Three running.
How many not running?
Just one. I got rid of one there lately. One of the Clios is gone.
Because there's so many drivers out there.
Mm.
Who's the easygoing one?
Me.
Which would bail each other out? Who's the easygoing one?
I'd say we're all pretty easy going, maybe except you.
I'm probably the most wound up.
You'll be the most wound up.
Yeah, I'd definitely be the most wound up. Who's the this is me anyway. Who's the sexiest or who had the most girlfriends? P.S. Greg is a hi.
Just people are absolutely blind.
That's obviously me. I don't know.
If it was you, wouldn't be asking the question.
You may feed.
Garrett always, when we go into a filling station,
What?
and women will be there, are you brothers?
Twins.
Are you twins? Garrett said, well, I'm the real good looking one. You know? Always.
Garrett.
Yeah, and like, how much younger are you than me?
Oh, here's you.
I'm not that old.
4 years.
4
4
years.
years.
Yeah.
There's 2 years between me and Greg.
Yeah, and there's no.
Oh.
Oh yeah, 4 years between me and Greg, and 2 years between you.
Yeah.
And then 2 between you and Greg.
Mm.
So we're busy.
Do you ever
Alright.
fall out and who's the real boss, Barry or Greg? Well, Barry and Greg are both bosses. Garrett and Greg are partners and I'm a loser.
But Barry was my boss. I was never Barry's boss.
And I'm definitely the most bossy.
You were Greg's boss one time, weren't you?
One time. Well, me and John, like.
I don't think Greg ever had a boss.
No,
Was he the type of lad you could
Yeah.
boss around now?
he always done what he wanted.
Well, everyone.
That's not true.
That's so true.
I always done what I was told.
No, Greg, when Greg was on the lorry, oh God, no matter what you ask him, it was done.
Well, here's the
Hurling
thing.
or no hurling.
When I was on the lorry, I was doing a bit of hurling. So if I had to train on a Tuesday and a Thursday, I go Sunday evening. Like, I always made training.
Oh, you're fucking
I
hero, aren't
worked
you?
freaking hard to make it.
Mm-hmm.
Mad. Absolutely mad. I wouldn't have done it.
You
Used to
didn't,
think,
sure.
do you used to think I was an awful idiot?
I don't think you're an idiot, Greg.
Hey, you're Red Rinnery or not?
Yeah, you can't have to anything.
Garrett and Greg would be big into the GA. Me and you wouldn't be as...
I
Yeah, but show us now, lads. You have no friends.
have ye,
Yeah, loads.
Who's your best friend, guy?
Greg.
You know who my best friend is.
Hey, you think he is.
He's
Right.
my best friend.
Martin Gunn. He actually called it house Saturday night. He called.
Martin Gunn. Yeah, I know. He was ringing me. He was dreading the thought of it.
No,
Martin
you
Gunn
cunt.
was my friend way before he was ever your friend.
I know. But he
Same age as
often
me.
he often told me
Yeah.
he rathers me. He thinks
Yeah.
you're an arsehole. He feels sorry for you. He pities you. Hangs with you every so often because he's afraid that you'll start crying and bawling. How did Greg get his arm so big?
Working the saw, David. And you helped me with talking shy.
What?
Telling lies.
Oh, Greg. Do you know what Greg done to me one day? It was one of the worst days in the wood that I had. I hated going to the wood when they were on the saw because I had to stack the timber. It was really dirty. It was really nasty. And I got drowned wet one day. Oh, jeez, I was soaking to the bone. And Greg comes over and he goes, we're going home. It's about 1 o'clock. I was fucking delighted. Got into the van, took off my shoes, took off my socks, started drying my socks. The heaters were on. And the cunt was only going to get oil in the shop. Go all the way back to the wood then. I was near fucking so sad.
But David was stacking for me. And I'd say to David, why didn't you stack that? It's too heavy. I'd say, but you didn't try and lift it. Oh, but I know it's too heavy. I'd say, lift that fucking stick.
Or
Or,
he'd bait me.
and then he'd lift it.
Yeah.
He was just so lazy.
Is there a scientific correlation between crybabies and big arms?
I don't know.
Pass?
Pass.
David, you're doing a brilliant job so far with the podcast. How much of the Raptor is company financed? I don't know what that means.
I do.
Garrett and me
I reckon
bought
the
it.
Garrett and
buy-
Greg bought it for me.
Yeah, we bought it.
Free driving. How much of a relief is it to now have a place to shit in Kennedy? Shout out to P-Vice. It's great. I haven't used it yet. Have you?
No.
No,
You've never rented in Kennedy?
we've never used the facilities.
Oh. This is the second time I've been at... No, they're all the big arm ones. Jesus. Do you ever think you're too close?
No.
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 Sometimes.
No. biggest challenge for working together as you're all family? I think it's just learning that when you have a row, just to fucking go over it.
We very rarely row.
Very rarely.
Well,
And
me and Garrett never row.
No.
Anyway. I've never had a row.
Me
with
and
him.
David could have
Never.
we'd be quicker to
Yeah. And
clash.
me and you clash. Me and you would row. a bit.
Oh yeah, if I
But
was
all
working
over
with you
stupid
every
stuff.
day, yeah, train station. Yeah, but when you were actually working for me driving a lorry, you were a good lad. Like,
Did you hear that? No.
well, anything he was asked
He's a great
to
lad.
do, he
Me
done.
and you don't fight.
I know. It's all over stupid shit.
Yeah.
It'd be nothing that turn into something, and then you just know to go, just leave it, and then you laugh about it the next day because you've no choice. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're not going to follow over nothing. Lads, particularly Greg, as he seems quiet. Do you hate when David flaunts you to the world?
Garrett,
Yeah,
I think
I don't particularly love it.
Garrett's the most private out of us all.
I don't really care. Once David's happy with what he's at, he can stay doing it.
Are they all married?
Yep.
Yep, all married. Who's the hardest man out of y'all? Who has the biggest Mickey? Anyone?
I don't know, but I know you have the smallest.
It was big enough to fill 3 buggies.
By
Um,
David.
Which one of you is the biggest cunt? Gareth. How have you not got killed? How have they not killed you long ago? Do the lads ever get stressed out with doing the likes of Snapchat and that's the same thing? One of the most favourite trait each one of you wish you had from the other person.
I'd like to be able to fix more, I suppose. That's from Barry. Barry, you're good to fix.
I used to love to be able to hurl. I was never any worth a shy at.
Well, I always hurled and I was never worth shy at. So there's a place for everyone. I'm completely happy with the way I am. I don't need any traits from any.
I'd love to be just at ease with myself enough to be like Garrett and use hair dye.
Garrett and who?
Use hair dye
I
like
don't
that.
use hair dye. Just because I'm the only one not grey here.
That's because Garrett has no pressure on
No, Garrett's the
Exactly.
only one with no
It's the
pressure.
good life.
Yeah. Do you enjoy working all together?
Yeah.
How are you all such cunts?
I don't know. Brought up that
Look,
way.
everyone has to be a cunt at some stage, don't they?
Yeah,
Who makes the most bank?
Craig.
Barry.
That's bad.
David.
We think
Yeah.
David now.
David, yeah.
Yeah.
And if we know the truth, none of us probably make fuck all.
Yeah.
Give it to everyone else.
Why did you switch from Komatsu to John Deere Harvesters?
That's something I don't want to get into.
Sure, you already said.
I'll get into it.
You already said it's about the deal.
Comfort.
Pick another job not to do if we weren't at timber and lorries. Barry, you first.
I'd love to put a van on the road, go fixing yokes.
Yeah.
Just something simple.
You'd be flat out. Ga?
Oh God, I have no idea.
Lauren?
I don't know.
I think
Pilot?
Garrett.
Pilot,
I
maybe?
think Garrett would be a great exotic dancer. Greg, you'd I know a job you'd have. You'd have Brian out the fucking door, from Brian Cody, and you'd be like, "Listen, Brian, you're at too long. It's gone stale. Out the gap."
I wouldn't be into that at all.
You would, of course. 100% more than working with someone else, or just get on like a house on fire. I don't know what that means. Who's the soundest brother?
Me.
Yeah, Gar probably be the quietest and most relaxed. You're a lunatic.
Yeah.
Fucking sound. What were you like as kids? We're all a bit mad, weren't we? You nearly killed us all, didn't you, with the tractor?
I have scar to show it.
Yeah.
What happened that day? Did you rob the tractor or you just taking it for Lendus?
No, we were picking stones or something, weren't we?
Oh, that was the excuse we used why I hurt myself. We were just driving up and down the lane with the whole lot of us in the tractor and there was never wind in the tractor. And you stood up on the brakes.
Garrett wasn't holding on.
Garrett went through the window.
I think he did. He might have said to me, "Hold on."
He didn't go through the window.
No, I hit the radio knobs
No,
here in
no,
the front.
no. And the 80 was a...
Was it
what was it?
Crystal.
Yeah, it was an 8045 crystal. Ursul's crystal. And on the left-hand side, there was 4 little buttons for the wipers and the heaters. And That's what
was
you
it
fell
not
down
radio?
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, fell down again.
But I will say Barry and Greg were like our mother and father never touched us, but the boys gave us some beatings.
What is it?
Like they stuck my head into the fire and burnt my hair off.
Yeah.
Who done that?
You and Greg.
It hardly took two of us, did it?
You gave me hey,
Well, I wanted to open the fire.
you gave me some box down the train station one day. Knocked me clean out.
I didn't knock you out.
Well, I was on the ground and I couldn't breathe or talk or move.
Yeah, if you were knocked out, you wouldn't remember that.
It was sore now. And you and me, do you remember the day? I can't remember what it was, but I ran into the sitting room and Greg was watching
I was
television.
watching television. He hit me a box across the back of the head.
Hard as I could. And I said, Daddy's going to save me. I ran out to Daddy. Daddy didn't save me. Daddy did not save me. Daddy did not save me that day.
We were lucky to have such quiet parents.
Yeah.
Was
Daddy never once.
No, ye were lucky. We weren't. Because they didn't correct ye for baiting us.
But they,
But
we saved them the trouble.
siblings raise each other.
Yeah.
As a rule. That's kind of what happens in a big family.
Yeah, but we weren't as wild as they were.
No.
Like the
You were
things that
bold.
they'd say to mommy and daddy towards us, like we were, we behaved. In front
We
of
done
them.
what we were told.
I don't think they ever said anything to my mother and father, really.
You were wild.
No, we were let say whatever we want, like.
You couldn't take you anywhere because it was just straight out. You just say what you be thinking. No filter.
Yeah, I
No,
remember
nothing.
climbing. We were only when you think about it, we were Jake and Charlie's age, climbing the side of the house and getting out through the top window. And
Oh, I know. The priest caught me in the hall roof and camera asbestos roof.
took us home.
Took us home.
It was so funny. He bubbled us into the back of the car. We thought we were in fierce trouble. We were climbing the roof, and next thing we were on the way home. We were terrified. Oh, what's Mammy going to say? The parish priest taking us home. And I'm sitting there just going, oh, what am I going to do? And Garrett's there. You're supposed to be a priest. Your whole job is to forgive. You're not supposed to tell anyone else. You're supposed to forgive us.
But I remember him half laughing.
He was.
He was half laughing.
He
because-
couldn't
Was it
not.
father-daughter, was
Yeah.
it?
Was, yeah.
Yeah. God rest his soul.
Yeah.
He was a great man.
It was so funny. You're supposed to forgive us. You're supposed to forgive us.
Oh, yeah, no. We were wild, Larry.
Wait, hold on now. How are you all so unbelievably good looking? Do you think it is the milk in that area? But that's a real, just in case you were wondering. See? I don't think it's the milk. It could be mother's milk.
We weren't breastfed.
How do you know?
I know.
You don't. You can't remember that.
I just know because I was told.
Yeah, we weren't.
No.
You were there. You probably seen, did you?
We weren't.
Oh, jeez, I don't know. How you all got started in the forestry, first machines you bought, worst breakdowns and hardship, everything of getting out of it, stories you have from when you worked abroad, tractors you had, that kind of thing. We kind of covered that. Who's the best to reverse dolly? Barry. What do your brothers think you done that? Did your brothers think that you were a pest with your videos to start with, and they seem to be okay with it now? You don't care now.
No, it never bothers me. No, it does bother you when he's in your face, like.
Yeah, when you're pissed off and something's going wrong, and next thing he starts laughing and joking and videoing, you're mad to get going or fix something. It can be a little bit irritating.
Mm.
Very seldom something goes wrong, though. You have to be cheered up.
If it was 15 years ago, we'd have danced, but we don't.
I think people have an idea that the phone's in your hand all day long. It's only minutes.
You do
only
get
moments.
used to it though. You get used to it.
Yeah, people do say that to me, how do you pop with the other lad? But really, like, from the time you get out of the van in the mornings, you mightn't speak to him. And then you work until 11 or half 11, and it's only that
20 minutes
40
is a long
minutes
time.
that you're
Yeah.
at tea.
Forestry is a lonely job.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lonely job.
That's what's
years
nice
ago-
about it as well though.
Yeah.
You're no one annoying you or.
That's grand if your head's in the right space. For people that head isn't in the right spot, it's horrible.
Yeah,
Remember years ago
It
before-
wouldn't be a great place for someone now if you were.
Like, there's phones in Yorks now. When we were at the start, it was like, you didn't have mobile phones. You didn't have anything.
God, when I started,
Phone
there
box.
was phone back. If something broke, you'd tear down. Remember them call cards?
Yeah.
Get a call card, ring
And something
someone,
was always broke.
go
down.
back up,
Always.
try and fix it, come back down,
Get to
say
lend the
that didn't
trailers.
work.
Tools, getting to lend the stuff.
Like, I was driving a 678. I was probably 15 or 16 at the time, and the wheel chain on it might go sideways, you know. And the only way to get that wheel chain back proper on the wheel would be drive the machine slowly and just pull and tug out of it, and eventually it'll come back into place. And I would put a hammer, or no, on the 678, just push the lever and let it drive down the road on its own while you'd be out under the wheels pulling at this chain, do you know? Like if you've seen someone doing it now.
I used to do it different. I used to reach for the tree and pull it over and just straighten it. Take the wheel off the
You were in
ground.
good timber. I was in scrap. The tree would have come out of the ground.
Barry, is it true you're the Ricky Bobby of the timber industry?
What the
Because if
fuck?
you're not first, you're last.
Ricky, is that the Discovery
Yeah.
channel?
Ricky Bobby.
Remember? Discovery. What was that called? It was Swamp Loggers.
Swamp
No,
Loggers,
no,
wasn't it?
Ricky Bobby. That was Talladega Nights.
Oh, I'm lost.
I'm lost too.
Who's your mother's favourite son? Sean.
Sean.
Sean. Mammy loves Sean. He's a country music singer. Did you ever hear of him? No. Never? 5 little fingers, too young to
Well, you know where
understand.
You know where you'd have the little red bulb and the picture of Jesus. And,
Picture of Sean.
and the picture Sean would be shoved down into the Jesus picture.
Yeah.
So that's kind of.
You make it there, you make it.
Yeah,
And we have the sexy Jesus at home, not the...
yeah, baby Jesus.
Not the... No, do you know the way there's 2 different types of Sacred Hearts? You know, you have sexy Jesus with the lovely hair. He looks all good. And then you have fucking horrific Jesus. You know, he looks like he's been through the wars.
Well, my favourite Jesus is definitely baby Jesus.
Everyone loves baby Jesus. Baby Jesus in the manger. Manger at Christmas.
Cute.
His baby. Lovely curls. Always. Always lovely curls. Mary doesn't. I don't know what that's about. If you pooled all your money together, what country could you buy?
I'd say Russia at this time, actually. When I come to think of it. Sovereign debt,
Who was Mama's by? Mark.
maybe.
Yeah.
Sean,
So
I would say, yeah.
I'd still put that down as Sean.
Sean, probably, yeah. Yeah. What's better, John Deere, Komatsu, Scania, or Volvo? So that's all of them.
John Deere and Scania.
Oh, Barry loves
I like
Volvo.
go again the grain.
Renault.
Barry, you don't think Renault is the best lorry?
I think they're one of the best.
Just knowing to drive 'em.
It's hard to get lads to drive them, but we had 2 of them, me and John, and to just tip along.
Is it the warranty?
Warranty, yeah. Warranty and their dealerships. They have dealers everywhere.
But they didn't break down either, though.
Never.
Do you know, so warranty wasn't such a big
The 2 major things that happened to them was the diffs went into 2 of them, but the half shafts went first. And when the half shaft goes, there was debris left behind, and then the diff went later. But they covered it, the whole lot. Half shafts, diffs. That was Volvo or Scania. They'd run you out the gate and just point the finger at the driver.
They're probably right.
90% of the time, maybe, but that's when you don't have to pay for it. That means some difference. I love Volvo. I'm a Volvo man to the backbone.
We'd have never known that.
Hardest man, softest lover.
Barry
Don't
again.
fucking look at me.
No, I'm
Barry
just
again.
answering the question. I'm just asking the question.
Barry would be a bit romantic, wouldn't he?
You'd be a fierce romantic.
Yeah, I'm a waffle nice fella.
Yeah.
That's handy.
And then Garrett,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
then David.
You're being hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Craig.
I know, I'm up there. I'm the
How
top.
about Seamus and Sean?
How about him?
Sure, I suppose we're all hard men, soft lovers.
I don't even really remember. I don't even really remember Seamus
We're
and
all-
Sean living at home.
Garrett,
Do you know?
Garrett, would you agree we're all tender and attentive lovers?
Do you remember Seamus and Sean living at home?
I remember
And you
Seamus.
don't?
I always remember Seamus. You do.
I never
Shem-
remember Seamus.
Only time Shem
you do.
ever bet me and you
Very little.
was when we let off the fire extinguishers.
All of them.
Every one of them.
He didn't bait you.
We were looking
Hit
for
you
a
a
white
s- hit you a
Christmas.
kick in the hole.
He hogged
gave us
it.
a good few kicks in the hole.
He his on the back of the head with his
Well,
fist.
he was after bringing fire extinguishers up, hey, to get filled for Mick Sullivan.
Mick Sullivan.
And the boys decided to get every one of the fire. Could have been 5 or 6 of them, and let him all off.
In the shed. It was a great few minutes.
It
It
was.
was like
So-
Christmas in the middle
I
of
actually think we'd honest no end.
Yeah. Jeez, he freaked out.
Oh,
And he had to pay for it out of his own money.
The only time Seamus ever hit me a slap, Shawn Michael hit me a fair few slaps now. But the only time Seamus ever hit me a slap was he was only after getting the L300
I remember that.
Mitsubishi van.
You were up in the field.
I was up
rallying
in the
around.
field rallying, and I used to get to clean it out for him because all the saw boys used to have it real dirty from the whole week's work. And I used to take it up to the Lightning Field and up and down the lane. Like I was coming down after him real easy, and here he was standing at the corner. Oh, God almighty, he kicked me around the place.
He was right.
He was.
Remember
Dead
Sean hit bed the tray over us with the wooden spoon? Remember we pulled the wall lights out of the wall in the sitting room?
Yeah, because that was our den to jump up and hang out
Yeah,
with them.
there was a radiator and then there was 2 wall lights and we'd swing out. Next thing the whole fucking wall came out with. You kicked the shit out.
Sean would come home and make us hoover the house.
Weed.
And, oh,
Such a pinhole. Aren't you, Sean?
I can't remember anyone being nasty to me, to be honest.
This is everyone was afraid of you, Greg, from a young age.
Except maybe Barry and odd time on occasion.
Wait, yeah, you fought.
you didn't fight half as much as me.
We very seldom ever fought. The
Garrett-
only thing we used to do was throw stones at one another. Remember you threw the stone at me that I dared you to throw the stone at me? I stood in beside the sliding door.
That didn't stop me.
No, Greg threw the stone, I moved and he broke the sliding door.
You were so childish.
So childish.
The thing was that
Yes, we
we didn't
we
want
fought.
to be
We
fighting
fought.
too much.
Just me
It
and
hurt
Garrett.
too much.
Hey, I remember Mammy in the front of the car crying, going, "They're going to take you off us. They're going to think we're bathing you." Garrett, you remember I threw ocean powder in your eyes?
I walked out of the bathroom, David goes, Garrett, and I just looked up and next thing, bang, white powder into my eyes.
I remember that.
You
You were
got
in
the
fair
brush.
pain now that there. You were
Yeah.
in fair pain that day.
But when I go up and going again, I shoved the brush into his
brushes
face.
and I had to go down to the doctor and met PJ on the road and PJ pulled the eyelid out from underneath.
Yeah, just stuck in under your eye.
Yeah. And then remember I hit you with the hurt.
And the
You
face.
gave you a big scar and you
There was no
broke.
ball involved, just hard.
You shattered my nose, my ribs, my arm twice.
Yeah,
You
but
were
to
a
be
bit of
fair,
a pussy though,
to
aren't
be
you?
fair, you make a thing out of your arm. You hit me and you broke your arm off my head.
Doesn't matter. You drove me to it. It was your fault. What are you laughing at, Jamie? It's
Well,
not funny.
he do little things like just because he saw kind of lying. I'd be up at the old house helping Daddy change tires on lorries or whatever, changing tires on lorries and different things like that. And Daddy would say to me, "Go down, and when David comes in from school, tell him not to use the gas cooker." Oh, he's not a young lad, like. And I go down and I tell David that, and he'd say, "No, I'm using it." And he just.
It wasn't. I was worried about Garrett not getting his food. And I wanted to make him something
You were
really
not
quickly.
making me food. You were making yourself food.
David had the ability to just wreck your head. If he thought that you had a weakness or he was annoying you, he'd stay at it. Like he really knows how to push people's buttons.
Oh, he's so
But-
frustrating.
But now I use it for all good.
Yes,
I'm like a forestry Jesus. And I use all my superpowers for good.
Yeah, you definitely you're not as annoying as you are.
I was working with Pat Collier. What can I
Good
say?
Still a
one,
little
Garrett.
bit annoying,
Good
but-
one.
I was working with Pat Collier for years. No, before that. Remember you were saying, Daddy, let's sort of do what we want, me and Garrett. When we got our first jobs, when we were 17, and we were buying our first cars, and you bought a
Mitsubishi Charisma.
Mitsubishi Charisma, and I bought a new 306, 2 brand new cars. And I was having my breakfast one morning, we were just having breakfast. Daddy was there, "David, your car's going down the lane." So I turned it on, forgot to put on the handbrake, and it goes down the lane.
There's a
up
good
over-
hill in our house.
Like it's up on a hill. How it didn't write it off. It just came to a nice little stop in the middle of the
I bet you there, because
lawn.
I did write half mine. 17 days after I got it.
Yeah, we were heading down to work. Garrett, where were you working? One of the
Callan and Kilkenny.
Callan.
Driving
And,
a bad A10A.
and you were late for work. You went a few minutes before us. And me and you and Daddy were heading down, Barry. And
You were heading to Waterford to the train station.
and we came out of Ballyragga and there was a car, oh Jesus, it was mangled.
Mangled.
It's
I
ma-
passed it the same
it
morning.
was
I was in one
mangled.
in the van.
And Daddy said, "Is that Garrett?" And I was there, "No, it's not fucking Garrett. Are you sure?"
He thought it was a Mondeo.
Yeah. I was there, "No, it's not. It's fucking Mondeo. Go on." Next thing Daddy came over to me, that was Garrett.
John Ryan actually pulled up when he seen it. He was coming down the road. And he went to the boot of it. And when he opened the boot, he could see me timberjack jacket. I was in eating breakfast in the farmer's place.
You never put up his fence after.
Oh. But to be fair, it cost me a lot of money, that fence.
Oh, it did.
Cheers, you were lucky that morning.
He fell asleep.
Fell asleep, yeah.
A concrete A concrete fence went
Concrete
straight
fence,
through the
yeah.
car.
Up through the dash and everything. Yeah, no, I was lucky chap that morning. But yeah, look, I never fell asleep since, so I done all right.
Even at night time, having nightmares about it.
But I remember then after that, I was fierce nervous of, because I'm always tired, even to this day. You know, I'd be tired in the mornings. Get out of bed, I'd be tired. Not in the evenings, in the mornings.
I could never figure it out.
Which people find a bit strange. They think you'd be more tired in the evening. After getting a night's sleep, you shouldn't be tired. But my outlet said to me, the only way you can't saunter to work, he says, you'll fall asleep, drive the shy out of it. And he says, that'll keep you alert. It's great advice from my father, you know. But I was going down the road one morning, I felt tired, and I said I'd pull in. I think I was heading for Johnstown. Yeah, I was heading for Johnstown. I pulled in there before Johnstown. This is around maybe 6:15, and I said I'd have a few minutes sleep because I was tired. I woke up at 11:15. I had to ring the boss and say, I'd say I was lying, like, but I told him the truth.
I was working for a lad and I went out on a Thursday night. And it's back in my useless days. And I went out on a Thursday night and went to work the Friday morning. Went down to the back of the wood. I just needed 10 minutes sleep. I just had to. And I woke up, was time to go home. I was just wrecked. I was a very productive man then, that time.
Good day for him.
It was a good day for me too.
We never done anything like that, Barry.
No.
Greg,
That's because
your GA
you
career.
don't drink.
No.
No, I'm just asking. Now that you have transitioned from, a GA player to in a managerial thing,
Yeah.
yeah, would you reckon forestry is a job that you could do both?
No. If I wasn't working around the mountain, I wouldn't be able to do anything like that. I couldn't stay involved with the GA.
It's very time consuming.
What do you think the forestry now? Say we've been in it like how many years? Fuck's sake, how many decades?
Sure.
What-
As long as
What do you think is the biggest problem with it now? Or what's the hardest thing about it, do you think?
environment, trying to keep all that in line now and keep everything right, like in diesel and all that
Oh,
drivers.
the biggest problem with forestry right now is people not understanding it.
Mm.
100%. It's sustainable, 100% sustainable, and people just think we're cutting down the Amazon. They have
Yeah.
no clue. They're home sitting on their wooden chairs thinking we're cunts.
Yeah, frustrates me.
It's ridiculous.
No end. So I look at, and I work in forestry. It's our life, like. And you're watching, say we work for Quilcha, and I look at all the private crowds as well, and you see their Instagram pages and their Facebook pages, and they promote walks, bike rides, all these lovely pictures, not telling anyone that the actual harvesting of the timber pays for the party, and that it's needed to be done. They treat the harvesting like it's dirty little secret, and you're there thinking, God, these lads, how, like, they don't even understand.
Sometimes it's hard to blame them, though, because they're trying to promote forestry in the best way they can. And
I
cutting down trees
disagree
is not
because
that.
other countries do it.
Well,
All
I'm
they
not
have to
saying
do-
I'm not saying they're right, but I can see why. It's not that simple a thing. But I do have enough problem with them turning forests and roads at this time into playgrounds, promoting cycling, walking. Like, we can't go to the wood without being safetied up with gear, trousers, luminous jackets, and then people are allowed to walk around the woods.
I could be cutting a forest, and there could be signs up with road closed, walkways closed, and you'd be knocking a tree with maybe a ton in it, and then 3 or 4 people could just walk by and not even look up at the machine.
Wonder why you're there.
Dopes.
Like, you could actually knock a tree on him, especially if it was dark, so you wouldn't see him.
People, though, as a rule, and it's a terrible thing to say, but they're stupid.
That's why you would have, say, the Messes has a free human consumption on it.
But it's back to the same thing. Like, these people are walking around, and the minute they see the harvesting going on, they go, these shouldn't be here. These are like after snaking in overnight now, and they're cutting it without anyone knowing.
Yeah, because these people are walking that wood for the last maybe 15 years of their lives, and they never had anyone blocking the road. So the minute you come in to cut timber, then we shouldn't be there.
Mm.
But I think the biggest thing is every time there's a bad photograph put up, it's a wood after been mounded, ready to plant.
Yeah.
And, they don't see the pictures of a first tinning, a second tinning, a third tinning, where they're like the bicycle tracks.
They also don't realise the mitigations. and the rounds we go to not pollute and to keep ground as good as we can. Like, I mean, farmers can go in, tear up fields, bring muck out on the road, do it like, and we are being prosecuted like in the wood. Now, rightly maybe by Quilsha and making sure everything's is done right, you know, but we're looked at on a really bad light, you know, even though we do go to such rounds.
It's just it's the same with every walk of life. Same with lorries. I mean, like, you're blew off the road, like you've a yacht that's 60 foot long, and you're coming out onto a roundabout, and just because that car thinks that you should have waited for it to go, do you know what I mean? They're blowing you out of it, and they don't realise that everything that's on the shelf is brought by that lorry.
Yeah.
No, there's
People
just
forget
people are
about
silly.
industry, don't they? Really?
over the years, when you'd be looking on Facebook and Instagram, and people would send you a message, "Oh, killing the trees, oh, deforestation." No, this isn't deforestation. And that person would be in a timber house, their timber furniture, all their timber products, their paper, not thinking like, where's all this come from?
Yeah.
And then, like, you have the government that are bringing in all these rules and regulations and trying to stop us maybe from not harvesting as much timber by delaying felon license and doing all this. And then they'll go and they'll buy beef, so they will in wherever, and the rainforest has been cut down to make farmland to produce this beef. Like, ridiculous kind of stuff, you know.
They're oblivious.
Oh, irritates me.
You know, they don't know what's going on around them.
What are you getting for Christmas, Ba?
I don't know.
I guess a puppy.
I wouldn't mind a puppy.
Barry's also a Volvo car man. He loves Volvo cars. How many Volvo cars do you ever have? Could you count it?
10.
That's
You've had more than 10.
Yeah, you have, because we've had 5.
I gotta have. I only really changed for. Remember the Rexton Jeep there for 2 years. That was all.
Barry's a Volvo man.
Barry's a Volvo man.
And Garrett's a Volvo man.
And Greg's an anything man.
Yeah.
I don't know whether Volvo are the best car out there, and they're absolutely probably not. But Bones and Watford, they look after me. And sure, look, that's what it's about.
You're lucky.
It's more service than anything else.
Yeah. Well, sure. That's a.
I'm
podcast
probably a
for another
Volvo man because Daddy was a Volvo man.
day. Yeah.
If the truth be known, like, and I see him there now, and we tell him that there's a scanny in the yard, and even though I'd say it wrecks his head, he doesn't mind. Do you know what I mean? Because he knows, like, you know, but he'd still be a Volvo man now.
And why a Komatsu man when Dowlad never had a Komatsu?
Barry's always
Underdog.
off the
I'll tell you
a little
now,
bit different. Silvertech, Komatsu.
Komatsu for me, good on the ground and the pay and load. That's why I was a Komatsu man. Simple as that.
Lame.
Well, if you call the pay and load lame, well,
Right, boys, we're not going to fight over it. No, we're not going to end this
Stay on
podcast with
another
you
hour.
fight.
Stay on another hour. Go another
Barry
hour.
and Garrett will just fight all day over this, and me and Greg just don't have the energy for it. We just don't. We'll just have to leave it for another day. But look, we could chat as we do all the time, and we're going to call it for the night because we all have work in the morning. And Barry's, thanks very much. You're absolutely great. I'll give you an old hand shandy on the way home.
Yeah, definitely buy his food. That's for sure.
I already bought you food. You fuck off now.
Hey, what's the hourly rate for doing this for you? If it's as good as yours was for us.
No, I'm not paying you that much. You fucking have your shy. But
Well, you're going to pay us when we're eating as well, so.
see Greg getting aggressive again. Right? He doesn't realise I have Barry here, and I can.
see, it's all about the money, David. It's all about the money with the,
the
buyers.
bank.
Yeah.
Bank.
Greg's thinking money.
He's always thinking money, and I don't know why. You
I
have so
don't.
much
No,
of it.
Greg's all about love, really. More so.
I don't.
Turn
think
down
anything like that.
35,000 to manage Kilkenny.
I don't think about anything like that.
Money.
No.
Of course you don't. No one has to think about when you have it. I mean, when you don't have it, you think about it. Anyway, thanks a million for listening, everyone. I'm so happy with all the feedback I'm getting for the last few episodes and stuff. And yeah, I will see you next week. Good luck.